Okay, so I guess I could share my screen with the audience. Hello, my name is Virginia today, Morales, and I'm recording live from Castroville, California. The date is August 17th, 2025, and it's 10:59 p.m. And the reason why I am recording myself because there's a whole bunch of stuff that have been going on, and I hadn't brought myself to the point to understand that I am probably one of the most oldest, one, probably one of the most oldest conversations in the world, when, but the most precious one out there. Uh, so here goes. Um, I don't know anything about what goes on in the real world because I live in this place in my head, and this place in my head has me limited to interacting with the rest of the world because I have a lot of conversations and they're not for everybody. Uh, so I guess the my family's probably going to be a little bit embarrassed, and I kind of asked them for you know for for understanding in the past, but not for this, and I don't think they'll ever understand this or anything else for that matter, and I'm okay with that. So there's this big conversation going on around the world about me and my wealth, and me and the Virginia company, and me being the richest person in the world. And just like I told, I was talking to somebody in my room who I don't know who it was the other day. I said, "Windows meet Windows." Okay, so I don't know if anybody's heard of 0 day or on path attacks, but there's a lot of people that got killed and then they got cloned and simulated, including my family members. And I guess it's them, but I guess it's not them. I'm in outer space. We're in outer space. Um, and so people dying and coming back to life is possible. So all you guys that are playing dead with 0 day, you can come back to life now. You don't have to be scared. I am here, and I am alive, and my family members are alive. You guys don't have to be scared. You don't have to make up stories or go all crazy. It's gonna be okay. We're all human. I don't have this interactive stuff yet. I want to do a podcast, but I don't want it to be like a horror film. I don't want to interact with anything that has to do with the dark web or technology. I don't really. I guess after seeing and hearing everything that I've seen and everything that I heard, I guess technology is. I need to get this fixed. I guess technology isn't like what I'm trying to get fixed, or trying to talk about. What I'm trying to talk about is the this place where I'm at. I'm oppressed. Somebody was stealing my mail, and along went along with any kind of benefit or like cash, checks, unemployment, disability, benefits from the state of California, and my income tax returns. And so I guess I never knew how much I was really making. And the Social Security, the people, the administration, well, they managed to enter my home with accessibility software. And they're not the only ones. There's something called organized crime. And I'm not going to give anybody definitions of anything because I don't want to. Um, but there's them, and then there's Monterey County, the Department of Social Services. I've been here asking for help for over 10 years. Can you believe that I have entered a place in the real world in real time, and they have me in a container, and I'm really trying to embarrass myself by talking about other people or other things or anything like that. But since I'm trying to raise awareness because I don't want my kids to be tortured or abused or continue to live financially oppressed. Okay, so these people were forcing people to have babies, and they were pulling babies out and cracking them over the head, and then putting them back in somebody's stomach. So people were already who had already died once, and they did that to my kids, and they kidnapped them, and all this weird stuff supposedly is in this book that they wrote. I call the Holy Bible, but I don't really like it because I read some things and it's very disturbing. It talks about uterus being removed and a lot of machismo, a lot of really cruel and inappropriate conversations, and then so they forced their way in here and they've been assaulting me, and they do this baby sacrifice ritual, and it's right here in this community Castro with all their friends and family members throughout Monterey County or wherever they exist. And I guess they've been doing this for 6,000 something years, where they put real humans in a simulation. And then the my employers, some of my employers participated, and then as the families around here. Anyways, to make this conversation, just so you guys can understand how serious it is, uh, these people are still stealing my mail. They took my bank accounts hostage, and they didn't just do that to me. They did it to celebrities, people here on YouTube, on celebrities all over the world, and they did it to world leaders, and they still crack me over the head. You can see the lump on my head. They did it to world leaders, they did it to celebrities, and uh, I want people to know about this because the people that I asked for help, they all got taken into this what's it called, superposition. The superposition is where they kill you but you're still alive or something. I don't know. There's a formula available. This man named Schrodinger or something. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but anyhow. So there's this formula that it talks about it, and it just like talks about this cat, and then so they poison this cat and they split the cat. Well, okay. So here's the thing: is that my son and both my kids have been getting poisoned and attacked since they were fetuses, and then, from my understanding from the confessions I heard through this probe that has been running since January 26, 2016 for myself. I don't know if it was running longer for somebody else, but I got probed at Nativita Medical Center. And the day that I went, the day was, I went in there because I had abdominal pain. And when I got there, I vomited a little bit, but I felt like something had cut me in my intestines here when I was at the house. So I thought I was going to die. So I was really upset. And when they had an ultrasound, the ultrasound technician did the ultrasounds over there. And then I was sitting in the hallway because I wasn't know if I was waiting for a room or not. Let me see. Tilt my head this way. I don't know if I was waiting for a room or not. I don't really remember, but I remember seeing in front of a monitor, and that image of the ultrasound was there, and it was dark. And so they went and got a physician, and I don't really remember what happened after that, but um, I was probed for a few hours, and then I could hear the voices of where it was my neighbor, then it was his grandma, and then I started messing around. Uh, you know, just whatever. I was just being stupid. I show up to these places, and I'd been kicked out a few times in my lifetime from the hospital. So I kind of have this thing about the nurses at the nurses station and their conversations, and I get a little bit uncomfortable about the conversations. So automatically I have this in the back of my head that they're talking about me or they're making comments about me, and for some reason that day my family members were a little bit upset, as they're tired of me, and I could hear the conversations in the hallway. But it wasn't my family members talking; it was somebody else. And my family members normally go with me to the hospital or anywhere because I don't know. I guess I don't have privacy. So this video is someone is watching and listening at all times. But I need this information to be reach people from every nick and cranny so that they can protect themselves and defend themselves, because I don't really understand how these individuals how come they're still on the streets? But they're still on the streets. They're still doing human sacrifices. They're doing it to whoever they can. It goes all the way back to where the plague started. I don't know where around the world it happened. I did some research on the internet, but I'm in an HTTPS and internet, and there's people inside there's people that are trespassing inside my network, and then there's people trespassing in the physical form inside my home. So my house, there's people in shadows like going right here. They're in parallel position, and they're using Linux and they're using Cisco, and there's 0 days, so they have IP addresses from 0.0.0.0 all the way up to 255, 255, 255, 255. And there's remote users every day of things that I see. They're all new. um, and I really didn't want to go into all those details, but it's important that you guys understand that I have been asking for help to trying to rescue my family members, and apparently they have taken this information that my documents and everything. They're trying to steal my identity, my wealth, and not just mine but others, and my kids also. So that they thought they were going to take my kids, kill them, clone them, and then get me to finally accept that I wasn't alive, so that they could force my kids to hand over their wealth or whatever, because they were my beneficiaries. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, and not in this lifetime or in any lifetime or in any conversation. As a matter of fact, I have made arrangements, and I did put one of my family members on my accounts, on one of my accounts, not all of them. And then I put Commander Joseph Banuelos on my Savers Now account, and I'm gonna put some other people on there. But I wrote a list of celebrity names for my Fidelity account. Brad Pitt was one of them, but then Brad Pitt got killed by my neighbor across the street with other people, and then as so did Robert De Niro. That's my brother's dad, and I I I want to make sure that my sister-in-law, if she gets to see this deal, that she can forward my mail to her house, and I'll try to see if I don't have permission to do anything, but to make sure that my nephew and my kids, they don't get cut out of any kind of anything where these individuals do not try to intercept any wealth. Also, I'm going to be a grandma, so my oldest son Joel is going to have a baby, and it's per capita per stripes, basically. I'll have my things lined up for capita per stripes. I read a few things. I guess history's supposed to be repeating itself. So this Virginian stuff and the Old Dominion and the mother of all presidents. I guess that's me. Um, the Virgin Queen, the month of May or whatever, Mayflower, the Virgin Mary. That's M for Morales. That's me. I don't know Guadalupe if they're talking about my aunt, but the story goes as the information that is provided is a little bit embarrassing. So I don't really want to repeat it, but I know as much as everybody else knows that can hear this. And I don't know if they can hear this because they're inside my body, or if I'm really. I know that I was transported outside of the universe, and I don't know how I'm going to get back down, because that's enabled the torturing for the killing every day and then bringing back to life stuff to happen, and I'm not okay with that either. Look at the lump on my head. I'm not sure how we're here, but it's a miracle. I'm real grateful about that, but I kind of want it to stop a little bit, because um, it, it, it puts the life of people that are not born in danger, and then people that have passed away. And so the people have passed away like we have, or we do on a daily basis. Well, these people could keep bringing us back to life, back and forth, and play those games. And I don't really, I'm not really up for that. Um, these people, well, they're here local, so I don't know how all this other stuff works, simulation stuff, but they simulated Trump. So if anybody can hear me, Trump's simulation, and this is part of his network. Um, they wiped out. They took over. Well, see, okay, so they took over Tesla, Amazon, and Microsoft, and okay, so Apple and Google and all those Linux operating systems. Well, that's all stolen intellectual property. I don't know if Bill Gates' family members are still alive or not, and whatever was taken from them, I'm trying to recover as much as possible so I can return it to them. I was doing hero activities, but I have a certificate as a cybersecurity analyst, and the information that I've gathered, I don't want to use templates. I don't want to do any forms or anything like that because they've been intercepted and stolen. They did ransomware, and I just don't feel like it. I've been here going and sharing as much information as possible and going into overtime with some of the research that I've done. Um, this video is about 15 minutes long. Uh, I have hopefully everybody that can hear it understands that I'm not a clone. I'm the real me. I don't know what else is going on. I don't really know what to say. Um, I asked a few people for some assistance because I wanted to make sure that I covered wherever life exists and step in as queen of the world, because the things that were being done right here to people from other countries and farm workers that were really disturbing. There's, a lot of people uh, have um, well, it's disturbing because they're being charged a different rate or being put into like social security system where they have different benefits than regular people because they're farm workers. And I'm not sure if that conversation makes sense. So the Paperless Act of 2006. They're trying to say it's the Paperless Act of 1995, and I don't really agree with that any of that. My bank accounts, there was a lien that the Monterey County wanted to put on them for in exchange for general assistance from them. So they were wanting me to pay them back the money they were going to loan me, plus go to work for a week so that I could pay them the money that they loaned me. And then they were going to put a lien on my accounts. Like they had court documents. I mean, then make their own templates. Um, I applied in home support services, and my mom had a broken arm January 9th. So these people put an appointment and they sent me back 2 months. So I went to the appointment and I didn't have my social security, so they sent me back another 2 months or a month, I think. I went in there and I did the orientation online, and then so they made an appointment and then asked me to do an in-person orientation. So I did my in-person orientation, and in the in-person orientation, those people were, they had a union, and the union people was SEIU or 2015. Those union people have locations in other counties, and they are supposed to be union for providers. Well, first of all, in the state of California, licensed CNA workers and home health aides, they're the ones that should be covering those kinds of tasks. If you're related to somebody, you live in somebody's house, okay, I can understand they're going to pay you a wage for taking care of your own relative, but anything outside of that you're kind of stepping into an industry and taking the the whole license stuff is important. And it just opens up a vulnerability for abuse of senior citizens or people with disabilities or children to have, because the person isn't properly trained or licensed. Um, since we're talking about not being properly trained or licensed, okay, so I've been in the psych ward of the HUD 5150 holds and since 2016. And the reason I don't have a tooth right here is because of brute force attacks from the people trespassing, and my mom's missing teeth also. And they're attacking us with chemicals and producing babies every night and dropping them off in third world countries. I saw pictures of my kids as little kids in Syria, chemical attacks or torture attacks. There was a actual picture of my brother and my son that was published from the New York Times, and it was published in 2017. And the reason I recognize it is because I recognize the blankets, and they had like an oxygen mask on my son, and that was a chemical attack in Syria and my brother. Um, they could change this vitro conversation. Oh, yeah, before. So they get vitro. They have this vitro device. It's a fertilization technique or device, and they use that, and they get people's eggs, sperm, and they mix it. It's like a dish or some sort. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I looked it up a little bit, but so vitro is enabled for people to just go and do whatever they want with you know, my ovaries and my eggs, my uterus, all that. My eyeballs have been taken out, cut out a few times. My head gets cracked at nighttime so that I look obese. And then the pregnancy thing is so that I look pregnant, so that I look too fat for anybody to have a conversation with me. Um, there was removal of fat from my bottom, from my buttocks area. And then I have like this kangaroo pouch uh, looking thing to have my salivary glands hostage. Then there's this registered dental assistant person who stepped into the conversations because the people here, the Hispanics around here, are really violent. And, the girls seem to be the ones causing the problem to be top of. I had domestic violence in the past. And you know why I had domestic violence in the past? Because I learned that from my neighbor and from this person that I grew up with, and that they were psychopaths with their relationships. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. So that's what you're supposed to do, because I never had a boyfriend. So I picked up those tips along the way and I practiced them in my relationships, and that didn't work. Besides that, not only did that cause a problem, but the use of narcotics also caused a problem. Um, that plus, there was this there's this big world that exists, and then there's someone like myself that's kind of just steps in and out of a reality, and then there's this other world where the rest of the world lives, and I tap into it once in a while. But I did want to share those things because I want to make sure that if someone gets this information, that they make sure that they rescue themselves and their family members. They protect themselves, because the girls and the people that are causing the problems, the ones that are really causing the problems, are the ones that took the whole nation in 37 trillion in debt. State of California was 11 trillion debt. Those are the numbers last year or something. But um, I don't want for the sea level to rise. So whoever's creating all those simulations with the suns and all that, we were at 100 years before the sea level was going to rise, and we're all going to have to hide or run or relocate to Africa. I don't know if that's stopped yet, but I hope it did. Um, I saw a map in a book, and I haven't really looked at the book. I don't really want to share the title of it yet, but I just saw a map of the book. So there's something going on, is because the things that are on my version of the internet, they're probably illegal. And the same thing with my kids and the devices, and the things that other people are saying and doing, they're they're illegal. I don't want my kids to say or do with anybody around here in local, because these people are all related, or something. And I want my kids to protect themselves, get as much money together and get out of this area. I'm going to try to get them out of this area. So I'm going to try to get my wealth, and I'm going to try to get them out of this area. But if they don't want to go with me, well, then they don't want to go with me. But I advise you, and I suggest that you do so, because I was hammered to the cross. I saw images on the internet when I did a search, because I was looking for Daisy's destruction, because according to this book that I read, Daisy's destruction, it was version part 1 and 2, and it was these locals right here, people from Castroville, and I don't know who else participated, but they assaulted me as a minor, and my son, or both my kids as minors, maybe even my nephew, my mom, my brother. We're all victims of this, and I don't want this to happen to anyone else ever again. please go run, get help. You might not understand it, but if you can hear this, it's only a matter of time before they wipe you and your whole family out too. So I hope that you guys have a good night. I hope that I can give you better news tomorrow or something. I'm just gonna keep making videos until we get rescued and these people get taken off the streets. I hopefully the armies around the world of just regular everyday people that haven't been slaughtered because they were part of the organization. I hope that they get together and then come over here and put a stop to this because this has been happening for 6,000 years to the Islamic community, to uh, everybody and everywhere around the world. It's people from different countries, to indigenous people, to third world countries. And hopefully, if you guys all watch my video, then I have enough money to replace my tooth. If not, I gotta wait till I get another job or get my website going. So I'm gonna have a website up, and I'm gonna have some memorabilia. Um, if I'm the Virginia, that when that West Virginia and Virginia were named after, and that's how this whole place started. And it's been, the decision was made years ago, lots and lots, and it's on in Wikipedia and history books. Okay, so if that's the case, then I'm going to put some memorabilia up because I want to know how long I'm going to be out here for in the United States. And I'd like for people to be able to um, have a piece of history, whatever it is that I can sell. I'm going to try to sell some things, drop shipping it with other companies, and then have the warehouse ship them out. But yeah, so this tooth thing, it's really bothering me. I would have probably made a video before or a while back, but this is it right here. Hopefully, the people that are helping me wherever they are, know that I appreciate them, if remotely, whether they're dead or alive. I'm gonna rescue everybody, whether they're dead or alive. I don't know what's going on here locally. I hope everybody's okay. I don't want to contribute to the stuff that I have participated in. I did it and didn't. I signed a confession, well, a virtual one, but there's things that I have pending, and I don't mind taking care of them. I'm not resisting. I just wanted to rescue my family members from, from the embarrassment for starters. But please don't bother my kids or my mom or my brother with this stuff. They're really different people, or any of my relatives. I'm a little bit embarrassed. They don't really participate. And then so please. And then I'm not gonna go to this, making fantasy videos, but I wanted to do some things, but I guess I'll let that conversation, let the professionals handle that conversation. There's a lot of potential. Um, oh yeah, so that was talking about, so the husband's thing. Oh yeah, so I don't know if they said they were dead, so well, we'll let them rest in peace. And then I don't know their families, so we'll leave it at that. So I got to start this whole journey with my career and get ready for whatever else I had planned, because the distractions are not going to ever stop, and so I have to work. Um, Okay, so this is right here, this lump on my forehead from getting hit with a metal pipe, and I don't know how they do it, but then I guess space and time. So this is why I have this lump right here. It is so hideous, and then I have bullet holes on this side of my head, and then they shave my hair. These girls and guys, right? Well, I don't know how guys, but they shave my hair. My hairline's supposed to be down here, and this is what they do to sabotage my appearance, because they don't want to go to wherever it is that they don't want to go to, and they want me to look hideous so nobody rescues me. But I don't think that it should matter what I look like. I think that it doesn't matter if I have been incarcerated or not, or if I have lived a sober life, because or not, because I didn't cause the $37 trillion in debt nationwide. That was somebody that was sober, and it was somebody that works with you guys in those local, state, and federal agencies. It wasn't me. So don't discriminate on me or my family members. My family members, I guess, if anything, it's I don't discriminate on them because